Hey everybody, so let's talk about black box. This one's going to be a little different. I think it'll be pretty cool because you all get to keep a copy of these slides for yourselves, which are going to come very useful when you study for boards. This is going to be the very first time we do it, so I think I should probably explain some things first. So for prerequisites, first of all, on a computer, you're going to need to have Microsoft Excel installed. I pretty much think it's a given that everybody has that now. Another thing is that you're going to have to use a Windows computer um, because none of these vendors write VR applications for the Macintosh. So for those of you that use strictly Macintosh, I'm sorry, Goalie. I'm sorry, Stephanie. You're going to be stuck with Windows. Okay, so first of all, I made it so everything you have for this black box is going to, you can fit it on a 4 gigabyte USB drive. So you can talk to Aaron or you can talk to Dr. Pfannl. Just bring a 4 gig USB drive. Hopefully you have one, and then you can copy it onto your drive and bring it home to use. Okay, the next step is to make sure that you have the VR software installed, and so for that, I just click here on the VR software folder, and then NanoZoomer, and then click on the setup application. Now this is from NanoZoomer. Actually, the company's name is Hamamatsu, and they make these VRs free, so it's perfectly legit for you to have this. Okay, so install that. When you're done, you can come back to this folder. Now you can double click on each of these slides and look at them individually. But what I've done here is construct an Excel spreadsheet to kind of organize things for you to make it easier for you. So there's two spreadsheets here, and you can't have the one with no answers, obviously. We're going to pass out the version that has the answers at the end of black box. But for now, let's say you have this at home, or maybe you're looking at it at a computer at work. So let's open this up. Okay, and this is all you get pretty much. So there's 8 slides here. Originally we wanted to have a little bit more, but realistically, 8 tends to be enough from my experience with black box, and we'll be good here. So what I've done here, I've pretty much erased all the diagnoses and the organs that these slides are in, because pretty much you should be able to tell what organ it's in. Just scan around the periphery. And you have a little bit of history. Like for example here, 60-year-old female with a 3.4 centimeter mass. And I kind of changed it so that I wouldn't give the organ away. But you should be easily able to tell which organ it is. To launch these slides, just click on the links here. Okay, then you launch the NanoZoomer viewer. All right, so 3 things I want to point out here. You have the toolbox, which is up in here, and you can disable that by pressing the T key, okay, just like that. Secondly, you have the, I guess they call it the mini-map, which is right here in the lower right corner. And you can disable that by pressing the M key. Over here you have the ruler, and that's you can turn it on, turn it off, change it from white to black by pressing the B key. Okay, so it looks like black is the most easily visible here. Okay, so this is the very first case out of the 8 cases we're going to give you. If anything you need to know, just press the T key to disable or enable the toolbar. And then remember this question mark here, because this tells you all the basically all the commands you can use, and you can play around with that. But just to keep this shorter, I'm going to just tell you how to navigate and zoom in and out. Okay, so basically to start back to the starting position, you can always hit the space bar, which is what I've just done now. And to move things around, you can hold the mouse button down and kind of drag it around. If you want to zoom in, you can, there's different ways to do it. I'm going to describe 3 ways. You can go up here and change the lens. Okay, so now we're going to go to 10x. Another way to do it is to kind of use the mouse wheel to go back and forth, like this. Another way you can do it, which is a lot faster, okay, I'm going to go back to start by hitting the space bar, is the keys, the numerical keys 1 through 5 are hotkeyed to various objectives. So let's hit 3 here. So I've hit 3, it automatically goes to 5x. 5, if you hit that, goes to 20x. Okay, now all of these slides are natively scanned at 20x. So if you go higher than that to 40x, you're going to get this message. The current lens power is greater than that of the source image. So at this point, the software is going to start interpolating, and you're going to get software zooming. And honestly, you really don't need to go that high to make a diagnosis. 20x on digital, it's really different than 20x optical through the microscope. Okay, so for this case, obviously, like I said, I really didn't specify the organ it is, but just by looking at these structures here, it's kind of a dead giveaway for where you're at. Okay, so that's navigating. You can also click where your cursor is. It'll scroll like this. I find another way to do it if you want to navigate real fast, okay, is to look at your mini-map. Now, first of all, look how you have a square here. This corresponds really to the whole field that you're looking at here. As you, let's see, if you're looking at a lower power, obviously the square is going to get larger. Now, okay, back to navigating fast. You can click here, and it's actually pretty fast. Okay, the reason for this is you have these files on your local computer. It's not over a network, which is one of my pet peeves, because what happens a lot is you're viewing this file over the network. You click somewhere, and then it takes about 1 or 2 seconds to update. And it's pretty frustrating because that's a lot different than what you're used to on a microscope. All right. So I think that's it. So you can kind of cruise around. I think in this certain case, it's a little too much. Let's go back to 20x. There's this guy here. You can customize. And what I like to do is to enable the sharpen filter because, hint, hint, you're going to be able to see the granularity in some of these cells for some of these cases. All right. So that's through image controls. That's by hitting this guy here. Okay, so let's hide them. Okay. Let's play around with another case. Okay, let's say we've gone through this. We're moving on to let's move on to another case here. I'm just picking a random one. Okay. So we're cruising around. Go on to some, yeah. Let's go back to 5x. Some kind of medium power. You can kind of click in the mini-map to kind of gauge where you're at. You see some fat here. You see some spindle cells. You can talk about how it's arranged. This one's kind of a cool case. Kind of describe what you're seeing here. There's some fat again. Okay. Now, what makes this really nice is the annotation features of this. And you can use a pointer or a circle or a rectangle. Let's do, for example, a circle. Okay, so you can type in, your name if you want. You can talk about, look here if you want. You can change your color. You can really do anything you want. And if you want to move it, you can just right click on it, click move, and center it. Okay. We don't have a case of melanoma. Okay, that's another hint for you for this batch. But what I want to point out what's really cool is this linear measure feature, because you automatically can calculate the length of these distances here. And the reason why we can do this is because we know how the scanner works. Basically, each pixel, okay, scanning at 20x on the scanner, each pixel represents 0.5 microns. And it's through that mechanism that we can measure these distances very accurately. So when it comes down to melanoma, if we ever do one of these digital black boxes again, and there's a melanoma, you should be able to calculate Breslow's thickness very fast. You don't need to worry about getting a micrometer or anything like that. Okay? And if you don't like your annotation, you can just go over it, right click, and click delete. All right. What else do I need to talk about? I think that's basically it. If you want to exit this, you can either click on this button here or simply hit escape. Okay, like what I've done here, and this gets you back to your spreadsheet. Hopefully what I want to do at the very end of Blackbox will provide you with the answers version of the spreadsheet, and what I'd really like to do is to work with Dr. Pfannl and assemble a series of annotations that, for every one of these slides, that'll have, for example, an arrow pointing to an entity saying, okay, this is an important feature right here. These are the criteria that you need for this diagnosis, blah, 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 things like that. I think that'll be really nice for you guys when you review. Okay, so I think that's about it. Most of you have my phone number if you have any questions. I want to try to get these slides out to you pretty early so you can kind of start working on them, playing around with them. Hopefully you'll find them fun. You can make any circles or arrows for areas that you kind of don't know about, and then ask other residents about it. Okay, so that's about it, and I've gone on too long, and hopefully you're still awake. So I'll see you Monday morning.